StarCraft. The top right, the blue Terran player. It is, of course, Morrow, who is on match point to stay in this game. His opponent, in the lower left position, we do have the red Protoss. It is BabyKnight. And my goodness, what are these two gonna have in store for us this game? It is Daybreak. the best map ever.
Oh, and I have to say, but I mean, it is a pretty cool map, but it looks like from the in-game chat, these two players are already releasing their inner Todd. We can see some of the life advice given to them in the game lobby really starting to shine through here as the name calling and inner soul searching, the 6 strategies begins to take place.
We've actually become delusional. I don't know if you've noticed that. We've been casting so long and we've got so excited that we've just started chuckling to ourselves randomly. And there's probably like all these viewers just sitting there like, guys, are you okay? Maybe
laughing gas is slowly being pumped into the room.
It's like ESET were like, we want to make these casts more upbeat, more humorous. We'll just drug the casters with laughing gas. That'll work. That'll be fine. I hope they're not. It could be
I hope they're not as well, because if they're doing that, it means that at some point in the last 24 hours, without my permission, one of them has entered my home. But enough about that for now. It looks like Morrow is turning on the mind games a little bit here in this game. He's building his first barracks behind the mineral line in his natural expansion. And this could be a cool move on the grounds that he's played double proxy racks once already. So perhaps BabyKnight will scout this. And he's going to go, right, I actually have to prepare in case this is he's hiding SCVs! This is brilliant! Okay, so, oh, wow, so BabyKnight is really suspicious right about now, and he doesn't bother scout behind the minerals. He didn't see enough SCVs, and he's immediately heading straight back to base, going to defend against a proxy Rax rush that doesn't actually exist.
Mind games, Joe. Mind games. They're coming down everywhere. He's just like, seriously, it's when you see the hidden barracks, you're like, yeah, that's cool. That's a good move. And then when you see the hidden SCVs, you're just like, yes! Yes, Morrow, you've got it good right now. That is what we want. You just want to give him some, like, you want to high-five them mid-game in that sort of situation. It's like, ugh. But of course, I love the way currently we've got people cheering for just a 2cc follow-up to this. Yeah. I think that would be the ultimate mind game, but I reckon just to play it on the safe side, just get the one command center down. But of course, there's Zealot now wandering out for BabyKnight, coming towards the watchtower, just being like, this should be nearly ready. I'm going to just go check to see if I'm about to die.
He's waiting for it. Oh, and it's not going to happen as well. I can feel the presence of Todd from the spectators, like just looking down on this going, I approve of this. So much cool stuff going on here in game number 7. Morrow really stepping up, and BabyKnight realizes what's going on, I think, or he suspects that no rush is incoming. This is brilliant.
He's just like in the chat, just like WTF, what's going on here? And now sends the probe, and the probe sees that there is that command center and the bunker coming up. And BabyKnight, you can just see him sitting there, just like he's probably face palming, like between like spamming his APM and doing all this. He's like, oh, for goodness sake! I thought, good on Morrow. Morrow, this was fun. This was amusing. I hope all the chat liked this as well. Make sure that if you did like this chat, you send him a tweet to say you like his mind games at Western Wolves Morrow. It is WW Morrow on Twitter. So
good, actually, yeah, we should spam the guy and let him know what we think of what he just did. One thing I really love about this game, guys, StarCraft is not just about winning and losing. It's about looking at a game and telling a story. And in the first 5 minutes of this game, there's already such a big story to tell. It's actually a real delight watching these guys go at it right now. And that was, there's no other word for it, that was sublime play from Morrow in the beginnings of this game, really playing BabyKnight like a harp.
Indeed, and now we've got to that sort of semi-anticlimactic point where we've got very overexcited, and now they've just gone down to macro. But there is a Reaper coming out now for Morrow. There is a Reaper. That is that is good news.
Yes.
So that is another interesting thing that's happening. Of course, the Reaper play didn't work too well for Morrow on Star Station. But I have faith. I have faith in Morrow after his hidden SCVs that he can do some magical things. He's getting the factory down. That's probably just going to be for a starport, but at this point I just don't know. And of course we do still have the push coming forward from BabyKnight, just a few units. He hasn't gone for a Mothership Core, though. That is something that is very critical to note in Heart of the Swarm, that have they gone for Mothership Core or not, because, of course, the lovely trick we saw in Game 1 of BabyKnight mass recalling his army in the base trade situation, the one in that game cannot occur right now. So...
interesting situation here where BabyKnight is actually, oh wow, salvaging. Oh, interesting, that unbuildable plates getting taken out there, and both the bunkers, 3 bunkers going back down. Now I think Morrow realizes that was a mistake. The Marine actually scouting out that the army is on its way and the forward pylon is going down, frantically trying to get the bunkers back down. And BabyKnight floating a lot of gas at the moment, potentially preparing to warp in a lot of sentries with this push. He's moving in towards a natural expansion. None of the bunkers are up just yet. They need about another 5 seconds. It looks like BabyKnight's going to give it to him. That was a close call for Morrow, salvaging the bunkers just as the army gets in. But it's not over for him yet. He still has to defend against this push from BabyKnight.
Indeed, there is quite a few sentries there. The force fields preventing the repair are inevitable, but what can be done? Well, we do have an attack from the side, so a good angle for BabyKnight here. That is exactly where he wants to be, engaging as fewer bunkers as he can at a time, but there's a Widow Mine there. And as I said, that factory may not have just been for the Starpod, and indeed not. A Widow Mine is definitely going to help in this situation. It may not do much, but a bit of splash damage and one of those units getting taken down is definitely going to be helpful when you're going for a good defense. And yep, this mine could make or break it. It gets the hit out, does a lot of damage to those zealots, and of course suddenly BabyKnight doesn't have the ability to tank the damage from those bunkers. Jorasa, are you just starting to love Widow Mines?
Well, as a Terran player myself, I can't love them enough, but really they've just added such a cool dynamic to the game here. The addition of a single unit, and I'm not talking like an Immortal when you have 4 Stalkers knocking at your door or something really obviously one-sided like that. Just the subtle addition of a single unit makes BabyKnight completely and utterly rethink his attack. And for the second time this game now, Morrow salvages all of his bunkers. I wonder if he does that slightly prematurely just in case a follow-up push is coming, but he's feeling pretty confident he can move out this time. I guess that Widow Mine gave him the confidence he needed.
Yep, one little Widow Mine can fill you with all the confidence you ever need. Coming round now, going to go and pick up that forward pylon, and BabyKnight, he's just not feeling it. He knows Stim's done. He knows that this force is getting quite sizable. There's also a drop coming out in the natural. That is so important. Those zealots are getting taken down, as we can see, and the drop is still doing a bit more damage, trying to get a couple of probes. Medevac goes down, so there is no retreat, no surrender, but the Stalkers are slowly chipping away, but the probes are slowly dying. 14 probes killed this game so far by Morrow. That is good news for our blue Terran player.
Morrow's actually doing quite well this game so far, and as Todd mentioning in the chat, skipping that Mothership Core doesn't appear to be paying any dividends for BabyKnight this time around. He scouted for that 2 racks after that really nice set of mind games at the beginning of the game from Morrow. He then came back around with a bit of gateway pressure, but Morrow getting his bunkers up just in the nick of time after salvaging them the first, able to comfortably hold that off with the help of the Widow Mine. And now it looks like Morrow has map control. He has about a 20 supply advantage at the moment. He is up in workers before you even consider mules against BabyKnight at the moment, and he is poised to grab his 3rd base. The orbital for that is lifting up now. Morrow is in a really nice position here in Game 7.
He is. He's pulling ahead. Of course, BabyKnight, he's doing the right motions. He's getting out Storm ready for the splash damage. We saw him have moderate success with Storm previously, but the problem is that once it's scouted, of course, Morrow is going to start his Ghost Academy ready in order to get the ghosts out and start dealing with that very well. He just needs to see it. And of course, the army that's out at the moment isn't that substantial. Storm will finish just before this push comes, and that is a big win for BabyKnight right now. But in comes the Medevac using boost to scout. That is really clever. And of course, that now means that he's seen that the Templar Archives is there, sees that there's no chrono boost or anything going off, can therefore assume that it's probably finished and can be a bit more careful. He is going to go for it still. Going to just be very careful, of course. If he sees that Storm, he needs to get back and guess those ghosts.
No energy for Storm at the moment. He now has energy for 1 Storm, and that's actually it from BabyKnight at the moment. He has 1. He needs to use it very wisely. Wow, that's about as good a Storm as he can get. The second one now just coming in. Wait, where did the 3rd one come from? Oh, there we go. The High Templar popping in from the back there. Good feedbacks on the Medevac as well. The 4th Storm going down. Those two Templar did not have enough energy for storms until after that fight started. I cannot emphasize how important that timing was. If Morrow hit 20 seconds earlier, or even 10 seconds earlier, those storms would not have done that damage.
Hero Widow Mine again aids the retreat by picking one poor little unit off. There's Widow Mines everywhere, yet again. Well, there's 2 out, that's enough. But still, of course, that couldn't have gone better for BabyKnight. Those storms, I'm just going to reiterate your point. Those storms weren't there when the engagement started, but BabyKnight got enough energy as the engagement happened to hit all of them.
Exactly, yeah.
And Morrow rather just ate them. He was just like, I like storms, hit me with them. And then unfortunately there was more, and then his units died. But aside from that point, he was boldly trying to deal with storms head on. Unfortunately, he's now in a bit of a tough spot because BabyKnight has a substantial army. Morrow apparently just going to go for the drop. He's got a lot of units. He's going to try and pick off the reinforcements as fast as he can, and the forward pylon. That's going to be important for him. But does he have enough to hold? He's trying to get those units out. BabyKnight being forced back to try and deal with this small little force behind this, and as we can see, it's all pretty tough.
It really is. BabyKnight moving further and further towards the natural expansion of Morrow at the moment. A great storm there, picking off the bio behind, and these Zealots will be able to mop up those Marauders, which means that BabyKnight only has to worry about going forward in one direction here. He doesn't have to worry about a flag coming in from the back. A huge army going into the natural expansion now. Decent force field to prevent the units from coming back down. And he's doing exactly what he should, considering the position of that force field, marching straight over to the third, because there's absolutely no units to defend.
And indeed, there are, as you say, no units to defend. SCVs being pulled. There are 3 hero Marauders and a couple of Marines trying to deal with this. The bunker's still up, though, and that's allowing Morrow to hold this off, and BabyKnight is being forced back. And that was an incredible hold.
But a lot of workers did go down there. I mean, watching SCVs being torn apart by Archons is rather painful at the moment. BabyKnight now ahead in the worker supply, 47 to 40. Don't forget, Morrow was reasonably far ahead in that worker supply beforehand as well.
That poor High Templar, the natural got taken out.
Yeah. And I think BabyKnight is... Oh, he's coming in for round number 2 here as well with these... I'm not sure that's the best idea with this many medevacs out on the field, though. And Morrow is, in fact, going to be stimming for... But here come the High Templar. One storm goes down, actually missing a lot of that bio because he was kiting back in the process. And the Zealots getting stormed themselves right now. And BabyKnight is going to be forced to back off. The current supply is 117 to 98 in favor of Morrow. And the worker supply, 47 to 45. So back to even Stevens there.
It is indeed. There is enough energy now for a couple of storms. There's quite a few now banked up after those additional reinforcing High Templar. But the upgrade advantage is there for Morrow. It's 2-2 against 1-1. So a solid upgrade.
Ooh.
Now we see some storms hitting. Morrow trying to pull back as quickly as he can. There's a lot of High Templar. Morrow is trying to get a good attack angle, but we can see storms just hitting left, right, and center. BabyKnight seems to be picking apart this army, and as we can see, Morrow forced back to try and defend. BabyKnight is starting... It's so close, Jorasar. It's so close.
The problem is that throughout all of this, Morrow is mining off 3 bases to BabyKnight's 2. So if we take a quick look at the income tab, Morrow is actually mining significantly higher number of minerals than BabyKnight is at the moment, and that actually makes a big difference. As long as BabyKnight is dancing around at the 4th base location, moving around, killing off small clumps of army, he's not actually doing damage to the main economy of Morrow, and that's what's keeping Morrow comfortably in the fight right now. But if he engages completely in the open like this, that could be problematic. Charge lots, Archons, and Storms coming in, and Morrow all of a sudden is cut off from his bases. He needs to delay BabyKnight by as much as possible so that he can flank it from 2 angles and try and stop this attack for good. And here we go into the natural expansion. No bunkers down at the moment. The Zealots picking apart this spot. But where is the army from behind? It's a little bit slow to come back, and I feel like BabyKnight's attacking this army half at a time. He should be able to clean this up, does Morrow, but my goodness, did he leave that tool a bit late.
That was clearly, I'm going to say, that was just clearly Morrow doing it for the showmanship. He was like, I'm going to leave it till the last second to hold this, and then I'm going to have an awesome surround, because then I know Jorasar and Maddles are going to flip while they're casting. I'll be like, he's done it! He's held! And indeed we did. We don't like to disappoint. And of course, Morrow now going for the Doom drop. That Widow Mine, chipping away at another Zealot. The upgrade advantage really still solidly there for Morrow. And of course, just look at this. 1 medevac dropping down to delay this army, trying to pick off the High Templar, and all the drops coming down into the 3rd base. We have 1 lone High Templar running away by itself. More High Templar coming over. The storm hits, but only on a couple of units. And we can see just all these High Templar going down, doing very little. This is so good for Morrow. But Morrow still
amazing.
that is brilliant. He's now dropping from that last medevac as well. The Zealots get cleaned up, and there's the GG!